I buy all my toys, figures, and collectibles at Big Bad Toy Store, and you can too. They ship worldwide, and you don't pay for it until it arrives in their store.
Hey, what's up? Siri Emerald here. So this is I don't know, a room tour or collection video. So it's been a while since I've made one of these. This is probably my favorite little diorama that I've created here. It's the first Avengers for the most part. This is in the office where I actually do my work. So it's behind me, and so whenever I stand up out of my chair and turn around, and I can see that it's eye level. It's up high on the shelf, and so I've got Ultron Prime there. Well, I don't think it's Ultron Prime. It's Ultron. They never really made the Prime figure, did they? They never gave us the extra pieces on there, which makes them full-on Prime, and they never gave us a Sentry either. It really bothers me when Hot Toys does that, but I really enjoy this. I like these guys set up as such. This was called, I think, the Avengers base that they're on. Came with two articulated posing stands that can be plugged in. Are pretty heavy duty, and if you bought 3 of them, you could make a full circle. And I only bought 1, and sometimes I wish I'd bought 3, but it's so big. I mean, where am I going to put into the whole circle as such? None of these figures are attached with sticky tape or putty or anything like that. The only ones that are attached are Thor and Scarlet Witch and Iron Man as they're in flight poses, if you will. I really like that Scarlett Johansson Black Widow figure there. That's one of my favorites, is the Age of Ultron Black Widow. The hair on her and Scarlet Witch, what a mess. I've tried to style Scarlet Witch's hair, just putting some water in it and pressing it down. It just totally frizzed, totally out. Love that Hulk. This Hulk, and the teeth look real. It's amazing. I didn't get the first Hulk. I regretted not getting a hold of that. And it's one of those I'll probably try to chase down one day to add to my collection. And there's Scarlet Witch. It's really difficult to get these flame effects perfectly the way I wanted to get them. I kept a little plastic underneath her stockings. I talked about that in the video. And here you can see Black Widow's hair frizzed out. What a mess. But I really love this Black Widow. It's my favorite Black Widow, I'd have to say, out of them. And again, I don't own all of them either. When I first started collecting them, I was only going to collect the Iron Man figures. I was going to limit myself, believe it or not. I said, that's it, just get an Iron Man. And as you can see, it's gone way beyond that. This Thor is amazing. I think that's the one that has the light up iron Mjolnir. I think that one actually lights up, which is really cool. Oh, and there's like this virtual, I forget what they call it, adaptive reality, where if you shine it at the base, it looks like the little sentries are coming up. And the Mark 43, this is really a good looking piece. I really like that. So, and Captain America. That's the classic, iconic Captain America for, the current modern era in that regards. And they all seem to follow along that same suit for how things go with the Captain America suits. And back to this Ultron. Ultron's amazing. His belly and chest, everything lights up. I don't have batteries in any of these guys. The batteries, they literally will explode if you keep them in your unit. So you have to take them out. And one of these days, I'm going to get around to getting these all wired up electrically through straight on power. So here's my Mark III, Mark IV shelf. And this Iron Monger, I'm really happy that I got a hold of this. I don't think they'll ever make another Ironmonger. They might. It's always entirely possible, but I sincerely doubt it. I mean, it's a 10-year-old movie, and this figure was awesome. He's not real heavy, of course, because he's all plastic. There's nothing die-cast on him at all, and there's a flaw in pretty much every single one of them. They're at the hip joints where they crack and break like that. And I talk about that in my unboxing video of it. If you check that out there. And this is the die-cast Mark III. God, look at all the dust. Man, I tell you what, I thought I dusted all these before I started filming this. I got the canned air out and the little brush, and I guess I didn't do as good a job as I thought I did. Now, I didn't like the base that this came with. I think that's the Mark 46 base. 45 base. And I thought that looked better because in all actuality, he kind of had the big battle there on the street, and that looks like a street. So I felt that was best to have Tony fighting Obadiah. I've got an Obadiah figure that I created from that Ironmonger bust that comes with that. And of course, this is the Mark IV that came with the gantry. So this is the original gantry, not the new diecast Mark IV. So this is the original gantry, and looking at the photos of the new one, I have a feeling they're going to be identical. Now, this gantry is not 100% like it was in the movies, but it's close enough. And I've seen people that have modified their gantry to make them into a more realization of how it was in the movie. But it sure is neat to have. I really like this gantry. I was really excited about getting this, and it can be displayed in one of two ways. It can be displayed with the grids from his garage, or you can flip those panels over and display it as it was at the Stark Expo, in one of those two ways. And of course, now remember, the gantry really, in all actuality, the Mark II, the Mark III, the Mark IV, and the Mark VI all required a gantry, and all four of those actually used this gantry. If you were to look at Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, they would have had to have used this or a variation of this gantry from that. And I had a new gantry in Marvel Avengers, but when he donned the Mark VI, the Mark VI had to be used the gantry. Now, we know it had to use the gantry because he used the gantry to take it off in Avengers. So it still had to use a gantry. There's some deleted scenes they didn't use where he kind of pops out of it like we see later with the Mark VII. But since that's deleted, it's not canon. So that tells us he still used the gantry. And essentially, the Mark VI is really a Mark IV. So here's my Mark VI and War Machine and Whiplash Mark II. And I've tried to recreate best I could without a real diorama the scene where they're fighting there, and I really like it. And this is a original Mark VI, not the diecast. So this is a plastic Mark VI. The Mark VI is a really cool figure. I mean, people ask which one is my favorite figure, and it all depends, really. I've moved these around in regards to who's standing on what piece because I wanted to try to get the whole thing going on there, and I've got a couple of stands that don't actually belong underneath the figures to put them into a place to make them look better like they should. The light-up feature on this really was very poor. I would expect to go all the way around. All of those War Machines, the face masks do not stay up, and that is a recurring problem on all the War Machines, and I hate it. I hate that all the face masks fall off. They just slide right on down. Nothing wants to stay where it's supposed to. I sure would love if they made the hammer drones too. That would be sweet. So now here's the dork room, if you will, and all those boxes. The ones that say Big Bad Toy Store on, I do not even have any idea what is in them. Obviously, they're 1/6 scale figures, and I need to just unbox all of this. Now, the ones that don't say Big Bag Toy Store are figures that I know what they are, and I just haven't unboxed them either. So as you walk in here, here is the Hall of Armor, and I kind of have it set up so it would kind of be how it would be in his garage with his house party protocol below there. And you can wire this, and it'll light up all the lights except for the lights in between. Those are still have to be battery powered. And again, I don't have any batteries in them. So the one switch will plug into one wire, and it'll turn them all on at one time. It was designed that way when you have them plugged in. So I've got the 1, the 2. I don't have the 3 there. I've got the 4, 5, 6, and 7. In the spot for the 3, I just had the little feet from the Mark II when he was designing the Mark II. And there's this little arc reactor table there, and you got you and Dummy and Tony there, and here's some more stuff. I got a War Machine hologram there, bottle of Jack Daniels, some money, a little Ant-Man over there, the donut from the Mark IV, Mark 42 battery. And I've got this positioned so it would be straight down to here, and that's where I have my Mark 42 at. Now these are actually the house party protocol. I have them, the top row and the bottom row are in numerical fashion. So it starts with the 9 here, and next to the 9 I have the 15, And then next to the 15, I have the 20, the 21, the 22. Then the bottom row is 24, 25, 26, and 36, and then the 38 and the 42. I really like these toys boxes. They're not a perfect replica, and the 27. They're not a perfect replica of what these house party controller would be. That 42, I made that helmet without a head in there. I took the head out of that so I could put that in there. I just literally cut his head clean out of one of those. But anyhow, I like those. And I made that Mark 20. I made the head sculpt for that. And here's one Mark 21 Chrome. Love that Chrome version. The Chrome version looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Mark 27, I love that figure. That is probably an underrated figure. It's really a great figure. The Mark 36 Peacekeeper there. And this Mark 22 Hot Rod, I made the head sculpt in that also. I had to cut all of that out, put a head sculpt on it. And down below that, I'm going to probably put the Mark 41 Retro, the red and gold Mark 41 in there. I've got this Camaro here. That's like 1/6, 1/5, 1/6 scale. So it's about the scale. I'm going to paint it like, I'm not going to paint. I'm going to paint it like my Transformer Camaro that I own. So here's the Ant-Man from Captain America Civil War. We've got Vampirella in the Asian version. Red Skull, and I made his Nazi suit. I pieced all that together, and I'm really proud of that. And trust me, I'm not a Nazi, but he's such a bad guy, and the Nazis are such bad guys. It fits out perfectly. My Doctor Strange there, I don't know why I didn't hang out on the camera as long as I should have on that. I'm kind of going a little faster. We got Leonidas and my Fison figure there, Stan Lee. This is more or less the current Avengers figures here, and it's kind of like if they were, I don't know how to say really, but so here's the Ant-Man with a little bitty Ant-Man there, Bruce Banner back there, Hawkeye, and Bucky. I love this Falcon up here. Again, I only have just the one Falcon. This is the one that has his flying, what was it called? Red Hawk? I forget now. Here's Captain America Civil War with Phil Coulson back there, Agent Coulson, holding the prototype shield. And I believe that's the Mark 46 Iron Man with Nick Fury from Winter Soldier and Pepper Potts. And behind Pepper we have Maria Hill. And next to them we have Black Widow from Captain America Civil War. And behind her is T'Challa. And with the head sculpt that I bought from 1/6 Kid, I forget who actually made that head sculpt. Love that head sculpt. It should have came with the figure. Mark 45 and Vision holding Thor's Mjolnir. And that's the new Avenger Scarlet Witch back there. And that's the War Machine Mark III, if I remember correctly, from Captain America Civil War. And I put these fires upside down like as if she's using them to propel herself through flight. And down here is the War Machine shelf. So there's I was commissioned to turn that into a die-cast Mark II, and I drilled all the holes out, and I just was never satisfied with it, and I gave the guys money back, and I apologized profusely, and it was just a bigger task than I was capable of doing. So we have the War Machine Mark II that was not actually in the film, and then we have the Iron Patriot, and then we have the War Machine Mark II Age of Ultron version, so that's the one that was actually in the film. And then I have my helmets here, which starts off with the crushed up Mark III, and then there's Mark II, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have these in order also. There's a 9. Some of them I pieced in there that would be there, that aren't there. So you'll see some that don't really exist yet. This is my Deadpool shelf. Love this Colossus back here. Toys Era made that Colossus, and the Lady Katana. That's Sideshow, Deadpool, and Deadpool. Because remember, Deadpool is in multi-universes. He's in every Marvel universe. If there's a Marvel universe, Deadpool exists in it in one form or another. You got head pool, I got squirrel pool, I got dog pool, a couple dog pools, I got kid pool down there. And again, here's the boxes. Again, the ones that you see are open, just haven't been unboxed. They're there. And I mean, what should I do? I'm thinking about just unboxing them and just filming just unboxing and not actually doing like a full-on review. These up here are in order of how they had come out when we first seen the House Party Protocol. And I added the flames underneath them. I really like the flame effect that I attached to these pieces. So I have them in order from how they arrived, and with the little ones in the background, there's a 9 and a 27, and I think 20 is the other one. Here's my Bones and my Thanos. They're on the top shelf because they're taller than all the others in this capacity as they are. And there's really no other way really to appreciate Bones unless he's totally broken apart and flying out like that to see the uniqueness of this figure. Other than that, he just stands there. You really don't do much else with him. And this Thanos was from the Guardians of the Galaxy, I think the first one. It was from the first one, and I really enjoyed him. He doesn't really sit properly in that throne, but there was no Thanos other than that, and now we have a new Thanos coming out. So here's my Mark III, Mark IV shelf, and I've got the Mark III Stealth, or actually my limited or my special featured one. So I got the Mark III Stealth, the blue one with the red, which was designed after how they would do stealth in the comics. They kind of do like a blue when they would show like he was stealth in the comics. And that's a die-cast figure. And this is the Mark III gunmetal version. And I really like the coloring on this. You can see like the little tints of brownish at the joints or all the little seams. It really is not just a gray figure. And just like this, the Secret Project, the Mark IV Secret Project, there's multiple shades of gray in there. It's just not gray. There's multiple shades of gray, which really make it stand out. And these are really good, solid figures. They just feel good whenever I move them around. They were built with a little more care, I believe, than the regular Mark III and Mark IV. So this is a special order suit. I forget who made this. MC Toys, I think, makes that. And I've got a Tony from one of the. That's actual Tony figure there with the Mark V suitcase. And this is the Whiplash. Now I took off the little knee pad things that they put on. I don't even know why those were there. I thought about trying to find an orange suit to put on him to make it more like it's supposed to be. My Iron Legion shelf, I wish that I could find those other 4. I would love to have 1, 2, 4, and 5. Would love to have those. And I've seen them painted by Sam Kwok had painted them one time before. Terrence has the collection of them. I would love to have them. Hot Toys showed us number 1. Hot Toys showed number 1. And that's as far as it got. And that's the number 4. Busted all up. And here's the Ultron Mark 1 right here with different parts of my Iron Legions and the Mark 7 suit, I'm imagining. And then there he is all busted up when he transfers over to the Sentries. Star Wars, man. I would collect every single Star Wars figure as well, but it's so, as you can see, it's just so consuming with everything. I love Star Wars just as much as I do the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I've limited it to the droids, the astromech droids specifically. And so I got the R5 units here, the R2 units here, and you could, if you really wanted to, you could buy multiples of these and make the others that aren't out, if you know what I'm saying. There's, I don't know how many different droids are, 100 different versions of astromech droids. So the classic C-3PO with the silver leg, and the first BB-8 that came out with the Rey package right there. So that would be the stand for Rey and BB-8. And I've got my Rey in a box. I was going to customize her and started working on it, and that's about as far as that got. And this is my Mark 7 custom, or well, special shelf. So that's the Mark 7 Stealth, which has some of the pieces are kind of translucent in black, and then it's black and brown. Of course, they made the chocolate, the exact same figure, just a different base. So that's the actual stealth version, not the chocolate version. And I love the Mark 7 figure, and a lot of the figures are based off of that. And this is the subarctic version with all the different layers of white that are on it. There's little check marks in it here and there. Also the micro printing that's put onto it. And this is another Mark 7 stealth that I have. Oh, that's a Mark 7 hologram. And then I've added on the little hologram-ish pieces that are they're transparent. and it was, and some pieces from the Mark 20. I smashed the helmet on this one by accident. So thanks for watching, everyone. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Share this video with your friends. Tell them where to find me. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you already are a subscriber, hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for looking at my room here and checking out my videos. And it's really good to have you. And if you haven't subscribed, do this now and go ahead and click the little bell icon to be notified whenever I make a new video. And see more videos that I made. You'll find them posted over here on the right. So thanks for stopping in, everyone, and sharing my collection with me. And let me know what I should be doing with these boxes. You want me to just open them? I mean, I can open them, just put them on the shelf and do that instead of giving them a full-on review. You guys let me know. And thanks again for watching, everyone. See you in the next video. Happy collecting.